Hiya everyone, and welcome to the first 2015 episode of The Changelog. I'm your host Kelly CK, and this was an action-packed week. Taken 3, the Gambit movie gets a release date, and Chariot co-op goodness. But sit tight, let's see what's taken you to the movies. Hint, hint, your wife's dead.
What? No!
Seriously, who wrote this?
Read the damn script.
Starring Wolf Puncher and Sensei to Batman Liam Neeson, who's taken back his role as Brian Mills in Taken 3. This time around, his wife's life is taken and he's framed for the murder. The tables are turned on Mills as now the hunter has become the prey as Agent Forrest Whitaker is on his tail. With his freedom threatened to be taken away, he has no other choice but to hunt down the real killers. I'm sure we'll all be taken back by this awesome action film. See Taken 3 out today. In the future of the film Predestination, temporal agents will be able to go back in time and stop crimes before they happen. Ethan Hawke, aka the bartender, and Mr. Robertson, played by Noah Taylor, are out to stop the Fizzle Bomber, an explosive expert that has been eluding the two at the cost of thousands of lives. Critics are already calling the movie the 2015 Looper and surpasses Time Cop or Men in Black 3. Anyway, out on limited theater releases, so check your movie schedules or rent it on stream services.
It is unacceptable that they use their power and keep us voiceless. Those that have gone before us say no more.
On March 7th, 1965, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. marched with 600 men and women from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama for the equal rights movement for voting. Selma shows a struggle to that very day. Packed with an all-star cast that is too many to mention, we highly recommend watching it for that pivotal time in history. Just a quick thought, a few weeks ago we mentioned Inherent Vice opened in limited release. Well, it opens nationwide today. The quirky comedy crime drama spells Oscar contender. If you don't feel so inclined to go to the cinema, here are some indie game titles to tie you over before the next blockbuster game. Xbox One fans should get a kick out of this indie game, Funk of Titans. Take Perseus, oh man, look at that bro, across 40+ levels on this platforming funkadelic adventure. Travel across pop, rap, and rock levels, only equipped with your wits, reflexes, and your stylish moves to decimate the music titans. It's $12.50 Xbox One owners, so start downloading now. Got a Wii U and a buddy? Well then check out Chariot in the Nintendo's eStore. The king needs to be buried in a place worthy of his liking, so the princess, player 1, and the lucky suitor, player 2, have to travel across many lands to find the right spot for the king's remains. Fend off looters, make it across far and away lands in the gorgeously colorful adventure puzzle game for 2. That's it on the game front of things, but the news has been on fire. Ant-Man, Gambit, and much more in the News Bytes. Starting small this week, we got our first trailer for Marvel's Ant-Man. The trailer gave us a better look at beloved Marvel characters Hank Pym and Scott Lang. Let's not forget, we finally got to see the suit in action. In Ant-Man, Lang, a thief played by Paul Rudd, is tasked with helping Pym, played by Michael Douglas, in safeguarding the mystery of the Ant-Man suit, which allows its user to decrease in size but increase in strength. Ant-Man will conclude Marvel's Phase 2 this summer following the Avengers Age of Ultron. It's set to release July 17th of this year.
One question. Is it too late to change the name?
The Marvel news doesn't stop there. Earlier this week, Fox announced the release date for their still untitled Gambit movie. The film starring Channing Tatum as Gambit was announced to be released October 7th, 2016. For the lucky ones who didn't see X-Men Origins Wolverine and aren't familiar with the character, the suave Cajun mutant started off as a professional thief in the Uncanny X-Men comics. His powers allow him to mentally create and control pure kinetic energy. A set of kinetically charged cards, which he hurls as explosive projectiles, is often his weapon of choice. Speaking of Marvel, Avengers alumni and all-around badass Scarlett Johansson will once again dip her feet into the world of sci-fi. Especially after her mind-bending exploits in Luc Besson's Lucy of last year, it comes to no surprise that this past Monday, ScarJo will be taking the lead role in the live-action adaptation of Japanese classic Ghost in the Shell, which will be directed by Snow White and the Huntsman's Rupert Sanders. The story follows an elite police force operating in a post-cyberpunk world where humans can trade in their obsolete limbs and body parts for cybernetic enhancements. Unfortunately, these limbs are susceptible to hacking, which is where Johansson's character comes in to track down the hackers. In other casting news, stars of the Indonesian action hits The Raid and The Raid 2 have signed on to the new Star Wars film. While it's unknown exactly what roles they will play, actors, I'm gonna butcher this, Iko Uwais, Yaya Ruhian, and Sesep Arif Rahman are also rumored to be handling some of the fight choreography for the film. J.J. Abrams did say he wanted less CG and more real acting. Get ready for some of the most intense lightsaber fight scenes ever. So that's a wrap for the first episode of the year. Going to play Chariot with a friend or take time to see Taken 3? Tell us what you think of Ant-Man in the comments below. Like always, follow us on Twitter at Ultness, #changelog, and hit the subscribe button. Meet us back here next Friday to get updated on the changelog. So what do you guys think the ending of Ant-Man's gonna be?